Hello and welcome to Clemson University's online Masters in Wildlife and Fisheries Biology program. I want to welcome the new students who've just been accepted and welcome back all the returning students. We have over 60 students enrolled in the program now with diverse backgrounds. We have teachers, people who work for consulting firms, people who work for state, park, and natural resource departments, both here in South Carolina and throughout the U.S. People who are working in labs. We also have students with military backgrounds and some students who are working in retail and also with different zoos throughout the U.S. There is someone enrolled in the program from Hawaii, someone who is flying scientist to Antarctica, and everything in between. I will encourage you at the end of this presentation to introduce yourself and to look over the introductions from existing students just so you can get an idea of who you are in class with. I'll start by introducing myself to you. My name is Althea Hagen. I have a BS in Marine Biology from the University of West Florida, a master's degree in interdisciplinary ecology from the University of Florida with a focus on wetland vegetation restoration in the Everglades, and a doctorate in interdisciplinary ecology also from the University of Florida. My dissertation focused on restoring seagrass to shallow bays in Southwest Florida using spatial models, policy, and stakeholder work groups. Prior to getting my master's, I spent over 2 years in the Peace Corps in coastal Ecuador, working with the community on environmental education and mangrove restoration. I've been working here at Clemson for 5-6 years now. Initially as an adjunct while I was finishing my doctorate and teaching restoration ecology and a few labs. I've been working to create this online master's program, initially part-time and then full-time starting in January of 2017, so we're coming up on 2 years now. I also have teaching responsibilities within the department. I teach graduate seminar, restoration ecology, environmental ed, and I'll be teaching your non-thesis research hours. As a busy mom of 2 young children, who you can see in this picture, Aster, who is 4, and Lawton, who just turned 2 a few weeks ago, I totally understand that many people may not be able to leave their jobs and families to come to campus and earn a master's degree, but I also understand that you might still have the desire to increase your knowledge in the field you're passionate about. I hope this program helps you move towards jobs where you can use your passion for wildlife and fisheries biology to do some good in the world. We need teachers, consultants, and agency employees that are passionate and knowledgeable about wildlife and fisheries biology. Just a quick reminder to make sure everyone's on the same page as you embark on this degree. It is a terminal non-thesis master's degree in wildlife and fisheries biology. You cannot use the degree to move on to a doctorate. This is the most up-to-date list I have of our course offerings online for this summer, which runs May 14th to August 5th. We have 4 classes that will run the entire length of the summer semester. Applied Wildlife Habitat Management. This is a 2-credit lecture course. The lecture portion runs the full summer semester. There's also an optional 1-week in-person lab in July that you can sign up for. You can sign up for just the lecture or the lecture and the lab, depending on what you're able to do. I do encourage you to come to campus and do that lab, as it's our only real opportunity for you to gain hands-on experience with wildlife. And we have some dorm rooms reserved here for cheap accommodations if you decide to do that. Our other class, some of the other 3 classes that run the length of summer are Quality Deer Management, GIS for Natural Resource Professionals, which is a really valuable and marketable skill. And then a new offering this summer will be Invasion Ecology by one of our new professors in the forestry department, so that should be a great course. We also have some courses that run half the summer or short summer semesters. So for summer 1, which is May 14th to June 21st, Fish Diversity and Evolution. This is really kind of a fish ecology class. It's the second time it's been offered, so the students who took it last summer really enjoyed it. In summer 2, which runs from the end of June, June 26th, until the beginning of August, August 5th, we have Conservation Issues, which is a new offering, a policy class, sort of. This can be offered at the 6,000 level for the first time this summer. That's a class that's taught on campus being converted to an online class. And then we have created another fisheries class, Fish Conservation and Management, that will be taught for the first time online this summer. I am also still working on the offerings for fall of 2019. You can see the dates that semester will run, but we'll have Global Change Ecology, Waterfowl Ecology and Management, Graduate Seminar, Wetland Wildlife Biology, and Conservation Physiology. I am also adding, and we'll get course numbers soon, an Aquatic Habitat Management course. Fish Conservation and Management will be offered again if you aren't able to take it during the summer. And then an Advanced Study Design and Analysis class, which should be really good and helpful, particularly as you think about your final project. The next spring of 2020, we'll have Wildlife and Fisheries Ecology and Management, Restoration Ecology, Graduate Seminar, Human Dimensions of Wildlife Conservation, Statistical Methods 1 and the lab associated with it, Advanced Conservation Biology, Scientific Writing. Those are existing course offerings, and we are adding Aquatic Ecology and Fish Ecology, which is the same class that's being taught this summer, Fish Diversity and Evolution. We plan to have the name changed to Fish Ecology. At that point, same course number. It'll be offered again in the spring. So this can give you an idea as you're planning and moving forward, or definitely thinking about the summer and signing up for classes, looking at what is available. Don't hesitate to contact me through email if you have questions about this, and I talk about a few more classes here in the next few slides that you might have questions about. So one course that isn't on the course offering slide that we just saw is Non-Thesis Study, WFB 8630. This is offered every semester. You must take between 3 and 6 hours. You can take them in any semester. This is when you work on your final project. I encourage you to not wait until your last semester to complete this project. I would recommend taking it 2 to 3 semesters before you plan to graduate. The scientific project for this non-thesis degree may be a scientific paper, a management plan, or environmental education activity. Within this course, you will create a proposal for your project, do a literature review, set up your study design, generate hypotheses, and then eventually end up with a final product. I will work with people who are working in different fields, teachers as the example I have here, to try to find a project that makes sense for you professionally and for the degree. Again, I encourage you to take it a few semesters before. The reason behind that is that the semester you graduate, we have to approve everything for you more than a month before graduation. So if you're trying to complete your final project in your final semester, you really only have 3 months to do that. And this is such a large project that you typically will need more time than that. I want to talk a minute about this new class, WFB 8610, Scientific Writing, for 2 credits that we've created. I recommend you take this course your first semester. A lot of feedback that I've gotten from faculty who are teaching online classes is that there are students who struggle with writing, not necessarily the content, but the written deliverables that are expected. Graduate level writing is a little bit more advanced maybe than what was expected at the undergraduate level. So this course will help you get there. It'll improve your writing skills, and I think that improving your writing skills is something that's transferable no matter what you do as you move on from this degree. So it's a good course for everyone. Specifically, students who have below a 4, if you're wondering if this course is for you, if you scored below a 4 on the GRE writing section, we found that is one indicator that you might struggle with writing assignments, and this course could help you. It's a course that was created to improve the overall student success rate in the program. We would hate for your ability to write to be something that lowers your GPA or holds you back from moving forward with this degree or classes instead of the content. So that's why we created this, and I hope that those of you who might need help with this will take the time to sign up and spend some time improving your writing. I want to mention one class that is slated for summer, and it will be taught, FOR 8930, Applied Wildlife Habitat Management. It's being taught by our department head, Dr. Greg Yarrow. He taught it last summer, and he'll teach it again this year. He has a 2-credit lecture, which goes throughout the summer, just like all our other lectures whenever. He'll have pre-recorded lectures for you to watch. And then he will have a 1-week in-person lab. He usually does it the week after the 4th of July. That in-person lab, we have students come to Clemson. We reserve a block of dorm rooms for you to stay, very cheap. I want to say it was $10 a night last summer, something similar to that, so that you can stay and attend the lab and get hands-on experience. I really encourage you to take this class if it's at all possible for you to come to Clemson for that week, because it's our only course that really allows you to get that hands-on experience in wildlife and fisheries biology, to really see some habitat management at work. If you are not able to attend the lab, you may sign up for just the lecture portion, for the 2-credit lecture portion. So that's something else for you to consider if you aren't able to come in for the lab. Just another note on class, Stats 8010 with the lab has controlled enrollment, so that class isn't set up from our department, so I can't control exactly how they create it, but I will compile a list of all those who want to enroll and send it to the instructor. I just need your Clemson University ID along with your name, and we will get you enrolled in that class, but it won't be as simple as going onto iRoar and signing up for it, because they control enrollment, trying to limit students who take the online version to those who really can't attend the on-campus version, which applies to all of you. Just a final note on coursework and the classes we have offered. We are adding more courses. This program is growing, and one of the goals is to make sure that there are a lot of diverse courses for you guys to take. Things that are slated right now, as you saw, were the aquatic ecology and aquatic habitat management that we're getting online. So a lot more focus on aquatics, fisheries, resources here in the next year. And then an environmental education class, which is what actually a course I teach. So I also want to hear from you guys about what other courses you would like to see offered online. Please reach out to me, let me know, and we can work to get those courses developed and find people to teach them. I really want input from students about classes they'd like to see. Okay, so expectations for this degree program. I understand that you all have a lot going on. Most of you have families and full-time jobs. I do as well. My recommendation is don't procrastinate. I know that kids will get sick, or work will get busy, or family emergencies will pop up, and we will try to work with you, but you still need to make every effort to get your coursework in on time. The best advice I can give you is to plan ahead and stay on top of it. You are expected to get A's and B's in graduate classes. In fact, you must have a 3.0 to graduate. If your GPA falls below 3.0, you're on academic probation, which I'll speak more about on the next slide. I would like for everyone to read the online student and instructor expectations, as well as the late work policy, which is under university and program policies module within this work group. Alright, as I mentioned, if your GPA falls below 3.0, you go on academic probation. You have to fill out a form that outlines how you will get off of academic probation and maintain that 3.0 GPA. You have to have at least a C in coursework for it to apply towards your degree. So if you earn something less than that, it will still be on your transcript, but it can't be applied towards the degree. Students who fail to meet these requirements will not be able to graduate. So you would stay on academic probation and continue taking classes if that was your choice until you had a 3.0 or above GPA. The paperwork, is one hopefully deterrent for you, but also you wouldn't be able to graduate without getting that. So I want to be clear from the outset that the expectation is that you would earn at least a B and hopefully an A in your coursework, that C's really won't count towards your degree. Another confusing note, because at many of your undergraduate institutions there might have been something called academic redemption. This is not, while we do have that opportunity for undergrads, it's not an opportunity for graduate students at Clemson University. So any grade you earn will factor into your grade point average. So you can't repeat a class or take it the next time it's offered and get a better grade. Everything you take will go into your grade point average and be recorded on your transcript. So there's no academic forgiveness or redemption at the graduate level. So again, you need to earn an A or a B in each course the first time you take it. In terms of time commitment, this is a question I get a lot from students when they're asking me how many courses to sign up for or whether they should be a part of the program at all. You should expect to spend 10 to 12 hours a week on a 3-credit course. And I think many students who are struggling to get A's in their classes are not able to spend that amount of time. If you're taking a 1-credit course, you should expect to spend 3 to 4 hours a week on it. You should sign up for courses based on what you have time for. In general, starting out your first semester, I recommend you take a 3-credit course and a 1-credit seminar. I recommend you continue on that course throughout your semesters unless you feel like you can handle more, or if you know a particular semester will be very busy for you, you could scale back. If you take less than 1 credit, we need to fill out a form saying you're taking a leave of absence for a semester, and you have to let the graduate school know why. Taking 4 credits is equivalent to about 15 hours of work a week, and many students are able to handle this, or most are. There are students who have taken more credits than this, but I encourage you, at least in your first semester, not to do so. There are also many students who take more than 4 hours and struggle to have the time necessary to succeed in all of their classes. So we have several options now. The scientific writing is only 2 credits, so you could take that in graduate seminar and only be at 3 credits if you're concerned even about a 15-hour commitment. So keep that time commitment in mind when you're thinking about what courses to register for. Related to the amount of time it will take you to move through a class are sort of our coursework expectations for this degree. These courses are graduate level, so we're not asking you to memorize and regurgitate facts. They actually, many assignments look for your ability to synthesize material and think critically about it. You can't rush through them, which is how this relates to time commitment. You really need to set some time aside for many assignments to create a thoughtful response, spend your time researching and thinking critically. This is particularly if you have 8,000 level classes, so you might want to begin with 6,000 level classes if that makes more sense, and then move on to 8,000 level classes. They are typically more advanced. An exception to that would be graduate seminar, F&R 8080. That class might be helpful in preparing you for courses or definitely for thinking about your project. It's a class that I teach, and you will watch seminars about current research topics that are occurring, and we'll do some paper discussions. So that's a great course for your first and second semesters. Okay, so you probably are wondering how you go about signing up for classes after you've heard all about my recommendations on what to take and when. There is a link in the resources tab of this work group for IROR that will allow you to search the catalog and type in any of the class numbers that I have referenced here in an earlier slide. If you can't get in because you don't meet your prerequisites, contact the instructor of record that's listed there on IROR and ask them to waive the prerequisites. By and large, they are aware of the fact that the prerequisites are an issue and are happy to waive them for you. Include your Clemson ID in that email so that they can easily look you up and get you in the class. You will start to get emails from the graduate school about selecting your GS2 committee. All the students for the non-thesis online program will have the same committee. The chair will be Kyle Barrett. I will be a committee member, Althea Hotaling-Hagen, and then our department head, Greg Yarrow, will be the other committee member. So that's a pretty straightforward committee selection for you. There's a link to that GS2 form and instructions under the Getting Started module tab. As you fill out your GS2 plan of study, the things you need to remember is that this is a 30-hour credit hour degree. So you need to make sure you have all 30 hours. That's number one. When you're thinking about which classes to take, think about your interest, where you want to go in your career after you finish your degree. And then also think about those project hours that you're going to have to take, 3 to 6 hours of WFB 8630. And you will work on that project to make a scientific paper, a management plan. We have students doing restoration plans or some sort of environmental education study. I will work with you on that project and figuring out what sort of project works best for you based on what you're doing now and what you hope to do in the future after you get this degree. The other thing you need to keep track of is that you have at least 12 hours of 8,000 level courses. So we have several courses that are 6,000 level. Make sure you have 12 hours of those 8,000 level courses. That's the only requirement for you to graduate. So the the, courses that you choose, it's very self-directed. You get to choose what interests you and what makes sense, but make sure you meet these minimum criteria for graduation. Some students have questions about transferring credits from another institution. One of the first questions to ask is, are the credits graduate credits? So that means their course number is 6,000 or above. Sometimes we will accept a 5,000 level credit. So the number of the course has to be over 4,000. You have to have gotten at least a B in the course. So courses with A's or B, anything lower than that won't transfer. And a pass-fail class won't transfer. Courses that you took more than 6 years ago will not transfer. And courses in which you got credit got more than 1 credit hour per week, right? So if you took sort of an accelerated or workshop form course where you earn the credit in a really quick fashion, it has to be at least 1 credit per week for it to transfer to Clemson. And you will list those courses on your GS2 plan of study. You can't have used them for another degree. So if there are a few students we've accepted who already have a master's degree in another field. If you use the courses towards that degree, they can't also count towards this degree. On the GS2, you will list them as a 6999 or a 7999 or an 8999, depending on the course number of the course you're transferring in, and then tell us the number of the course number and name of the course in your institution on your GS2. Another option is to take credits from another department. Again, you can't have used them to obtain another degree. So if you already have a degree from Clemson and you've used the credits towards that degree, you can't count them towards ours. Less than 10 hours can come from other departments. So the majority of your courses, or 20 hours, have to come from those courses that I've listed earlier from our department. That would be courses that start FOR, FNR, WFB, or ENR. And your committee has to approve them. So if you're taking courses from another department, you need to clear it by the committee, which is again myself, the department chair Greg Yarrow, and the graduate coordinator Kyle Barrett, prior to taking the class. So please contact me before you sign up for and take a class from another department. We have had students take classes from the biology department, from Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management, and from statistics, that would all count towards the wildlife and fisheries biology degree. But again, you can only take 10 hours of classes from that department. We have to approve it before you do it, and you can't have used it towards another degree. So if that's something you're interested in doing, that's something you should start a conversation with prior to registering. So I've provided a lot of resources in this work group that I think are underutilized based on the email questions I get. There are resources relating to the university and program policies, technical support and technology tutorials, university resources and academic support like registration and payment, academic support services if you need help with writing or tutoring, or the library to help you find sources for papers you're writing, student support services if you're struggling in any way. And then I also have guidelines, APA guidelines, which is the general citation format used for this degree and department and coursework, and graduate level academic writing, some guidelines on that. I'm happy to answer your questions, but I think in general you'll find the answers to them in one of those tabs. So I encourage you here at the beginning to read over, and if at any point during your degree you have a question, I typically refer students to one of those tabs to find the answer for their question. So look through those to learn more about the resources that are available to you and how you can get help if you need it. I'm going to finish this presentation by reminding you to introduce yourself, which should be the next thing in the module here. I really like learning more about you, and I think other students in the program like learning about their classmates. Since we never meet in person or very rarely get to meet in person, this is an opportunity for you to tell your other students and your professors and faculty in the department who you are and what you do.